Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I am Dr. S.K. Singh, Ph.D., and I am pleased to kick off today's presentation. Today, we will be exploring the important topic of document control, specifically focusing on retrieval and archival processes. Over the next few minutes, I'll guide you through the key concepts and best practices in managing documents effectively. So let's get started and delve into this vital aspect of our work. Let's start by understanding why document control is so critical in the pharmaceutical industry. It really ensures that our products meet the highest standards of quality and safety, while also maintaining compliance with regulatory requirements. Proper documentation provides full traceability for all manufacturing and quality actions, so if there's ever a question or issue, we can track back through the records easily. It also plays a vital role in audit and inspection readiness, making sure all necessary documents are organized and accessible when needed. Additionally, strong document control helps prevent data loss, unauthorized changes, or misinterpretation, which can have serious consequences. Now, when we talk about regulatory anchors, there are some key standards that guide our practices. For example, the US FDA's 21 CFR Part 210 and 211 set the framework for good manufacturing practices, or GMP. The EU GMP annexes provide similar guidance within Europe. And then there's ICH Q10, which outlines a comprehensive pharmaceutical quality system that emphasizes the importance of robust documentation throughout the product lifecycle. Together, these regulations underscore how essential effective document control is to ensure consistent product quality, compliance, and ultimately, patient safety. Let's take a look at the regulatory framework that underpins document control in our industry. First, there's 21 CFR Part 211, which sets the standards for records and reports in pharmaceutical manufacturing. It's essential because it ensures that all data is properly documented and compliant. Moving over to Europe, EU GMP Volume 4 provides detailed guidelines on document controls, emphasizing the importance of maintaining integrity and consistency in documentation practices across manufacturing sites. Then we have ICH Q10, which outlines the overall quality system requirements. This helps create a robust framework for quality management throughout the product lifecycle. Alongside that, ICH Q9 introduces a risk-based approach to quality, allowing organizations to prioritize their efforts based on potential risks, making the process both efficient and effective. The overarching goal of all these regulations is clear: to ensure that documentation is controlled, accurate, retrievable, and securely archived throughout the entire product lifecycle. This foundation is critical for compliance, data integrity, and ultimately delivering safe, high-quality products to patients. So, what exactly is document control? Well, it's a systematic set of procedures that we put in place to manage all aspects of controlled documents. This includes creating them, reviewing and revising as needed, issuing the final versions, distributing them to the right people, retrieving them when necessary, and finally archiving them for long-term storage. The goal here is to ensure that everyone is working with the most current and accurate information, which is vital for maintaining quality and compliance. When we talk about the scope of document control, several key elements come into play. First, there's version control, making sure we always know which version of a document we're working with. Then, approval tracking helps us monitor who has authorized each document and when. Distribution ensures the right documents reach the right people at the right time, preventing confusion or miscommunication. Retrieval and access are about making documents easy to find and secure, so sensitive information isn't exposed unnecessarily. And finally, retention and archival manage how long we keep documents and how we store them for future reference. All of these elements work together to support the overall theme of quality management and regulatory compliance. Effective document control helps us maintain consistency, traceability, and accountability across our processes. It's a crucial foundation for ensuring that our operations are reliable, compliant, and continuously improving. let's talk about the regulatory expectation that each document must be uniquely identifiable and traceable. This is crucial for maintaining control and accountability in our documentation processes. When we say document identification, we're referring to key elements that help us distinguish one document from another. These include the title, which clearly states what the document is about, and a unique document number that sets it apart from all others. We also need to track the version or revision number, because documents often go through updates, and it's important to know which version you're working with. The issue date indicates when the document was created or issued, while the effective date shows when it becomes applicable. Lastly, the approving authority is the person or group responsible for authorizing the document, ensuring it meets all necessary standards. Now, understanding the document lifecycle is equally important. It starts with creation and drafting, where the initial content is developed. Next comes review and approval, a critical step to ensure accuracy and compliance. Once approved, the document is issued and distributed to the relevant parties. Over time, documents may need revisions or updates, which are managed through change control processes. After use, documents should be retrievable and usable whenever needed, supporting operational needs. Finally, proper archival and retention processes are essential for long-term record-keeping and regulatory compliance. All these elements, identification and lifecycle management, work together to ensure our documentation is reliable, traceable, and compliant with regulatory expectations, reinforcing the overall integrity of our quality management system. Let's talk about document change control. The main goal here is to make sure that any changes to our GMP documentation are authorized and carefully evaluated for their impact. This helps us maintain the integrity and compliance of our documentation over time. The key steps involved start with a revision request, which is basically proposing a change. Then, we conduct an impact assessment to understand how that change might affect our processes or compliance. Following that, we perform a risk evaluation to identify any potential issues or vulnerabilities that could arise. Once these assessments are complete, approvals are necessary before moving forward. This ensures that all relevant stakeholders agree and that the change is appropriate. After approval, we implement the change in a controlled manner to avoid any disruption. Finally, we provide training if needed, so everyone understands the new or updated procedures. The ultimate outcome of this process is a controlled evolution of our GMP documentation. It allows us to keep our documentation up-to-date and accurate, while still maintaining control and compliance throughout the process. This is essential for ensuring the quality and safety of our products in the long run. Now, let's talk about distribution and access. When it comes to controlled distribution, we typically use printed copies that are clearly marked with a controlled copy label to prevent unauthorized sharing. Additionally, electronic distribution is managed through our Electronic Quality Management System, or EQMS, which helps us keep track of who has access. Access control is a vital part of this process. We implement role-based access, meaning that each person's permissions are tailored to their responsibilities. Authentication measures ensure that only authorized individuals can log in and view the documents, and read-write privileges are carefully assigned to prevent unintended changes or disclosures. It's also important to remember that regulatory requirements specify that only the most current, approved versions of documents should be in use. This helps us maintain compliance and ensures everyone is working with the latest, most accurate information. By managing distribution and access this way, we're safeguarding our documentation, supporting regulatory compliance, and ultimately ensuring the integrity of our processes across the board. Now, let's talk about document retrieval and what the regulatory expectations are around this. Essentially, this means being able to recall documents quickly and accurately when needed. In the pharmaceutical industry, it's crucial that documents are retrievable within a specific timeframe to support investigations and inspections. This ensures we can respond promptly and provide the necessary information to regulators or auditors. It's also important that the retrieval process is traceable, meaning we maintain an audit trail. This helps us demonstrate that the documents were accessed legitimately and at the right times. Typical examples of documents we need to retrieve include batch records, standard operating procedures, quality control tests, and records of deviations. Overall, effective document retrieval is vital for compliance, quality assurance, and maintaining trust in our processes. It ensures that we are always prepared and transparent when it comes to regulatory inspections. Let's start with the electronic system, or EQMS and DMS. These systems serve as searchable digital repositories, making it much easier to find and access documents quickly. They also maintain version histories, so you can track changes over time and ensure you're always working with the most current information. Audit trails are another key feature, providing a record of who accessed or modified documents, which is crucial for compliance and accountability. Additionally, tagging and metadata help categorize and organize documents, making retrieval even more efficient. Now, when it comes to retrieval methods, traditional manual systems are still in use in many places. These include paper filing systems, where documents are stored in physical folders or binders, and indexed folders to help locate files. Logbooks are also common, providing a manual record of document access and updates. However, in a regulated environment, the focus is on rapid, accurate, and well-documented retrieval. That means digital systems are generally preferred because they can meet these needs more effectively. The ability to quickly search, access, and verify document histories is vital for maintaining compliance and ensuring quality. So, whether using digital or manual methods, the key is ensuring that retrieval processes support the overall goals of efficiency, accuracy, and regulatory adherence. Let's talk about document archival. Essentially, this is about the long-term preservation of documents that are either obsolete or hold historical value. The goal here is to make sure these important records are kept safe over time, even as technology or processes evolve. When we think about archival goals, 3 key points come to mind. First, meeting legal retention requirements, because regulations often specify how long we need to keep certain documents. Second, ensuring the integrity of these records over time, so they remain accurate and trustworthy. And third, protecting them against loss or damage, whether from physical deterioration, disasters, or accidental deletion. Now, what types of documents are typically archived? Completed batch records, calibration records, SOP revisions, and training records are some of the main examples. These documents are crucial for traceability, compliance, and continuous improvement. By implementing proper archiving practices, we not only meet regulatory standards, but also safeguard vital information for future reference. This ties into our overall theme of maintaining quality and compliance throughout the entire life cycle of our records. Let's talk about retention requirements. First, there are specific regulatory statutes we need to be aware of. For example, 21 CFR Part 211 clearly specifies the retention periods for records, ensuring that manufacturers keep documentation for the necessary duration. Similarly, in the EU, GMP Annex 11 and its annexes set out expectations for how long documents should be retained. Beyond these regulations, there are general practices we follow in the industry. Records should be retained for a defined period after the product's manufacture or expiration date. This ensures that we can verify and review manufacturing processes if needed, even after the product is out of the market. Another critical aspect is archival storage. It's essential to control the climate, temperature, humidity, and other environmental factors to preserve the integrity of the stored records. Plus, access to archived folders must be controlled tightly, so only authorized personnel can view or handle these documents. All of these points tie back to our overall theme of quality assurance and compliance, making sure that our records are properly maintained, not just to meet regulatory requirements, but to support the integrity and traceability of our products over time. Now, let's talk about security and integrity in archival. Ensuring that our records are protected is crucial, and that's where key controls come into play. Restricted access is fundamental. only authorized personnel should be able to view or modify sensitive information. This helps prevent unauthorized changes or breaches. Next, we have backup and disaster recovery plans. These are essential to safeguard against data loss due to hardware failures, accidents, or disasters. Regular backups ensure that our information can be restored quickly if needed. Environmental control is another critical aspect. Things like fire prevention and moisture control help preserve physical records and prevent deterioration over time. Protecting the physical environment is just as important as digital safeguards. Speaking of digital safeguards, electronic encryption and backup add layers of security to our digital records. Encryption makes data unreadable to unauthorized users, and regular backups ensure data integrity even if a breach or failure occurs. Now, to keep everything transparent and accountable, we have an electronic audit trail. This records who accessed or modified records, along with when and what changes were made. It's essentially a digital footprint that helps us verify the integrity of our archives and trace any suspicious activity. All these controls and audit trails work together to maintain the security and integrity of our archives, supporting our overall goal of reliable and trustworthy record-keeping. Now, let's take a closer look at the KPIs for document control. These are the useful metrics that help us measure how effectively we're managing our documents. First, we have the on-time distribution rate, which indicates how well we're meeting our scheduled deadlines for distributing documents. Next is retrieval turnaround time, showing us how quickly we can locate and provide documents when needed. The document rejection rate is also important, as it highlights the quality and accuracy of the documents we produce and handle. Then there's the change control cycle time, which measures how efficiently we process and implement document changes. Finally, archive completeness and compliance ensure that our records are thorough, accurate, and adhere to regulations. All of these metrics serve a common goal: continuous process improvement. By regularly monitoring these KPIs, we can identify areas for enhancement, streamline our workflows, and ensure our document control processes support the overall efficiency and compliance of our organization. This approach keeps us moving forward and aligned with our strategic objectives. Let's take a closer look at some core points that are vital for effective document control. First, supporting GMP and regulatory compliance is crucial, and having a solid document control system helps ensure that we meet those standards consistently. Accurate identification of documents, along with controlled distribution, retrieval, and archival, are all essential practices. These steps help prevent errors and ensure that the right information is available when needed. Implementing an electronic quality management system, or EQMS, really strengthens our traceability, security, and inspection readiness. It provides a clear record trail and safeguards our documents against unauthorized access. And finally, I want to emphasize the importance of regularly reviewing our retrieval and archival practices. By doing so, we can continually enhance our quality systems, making sure they stay robust and capable of supporting compliance and operational excellence. These core points tie back to our overall goal: maintaining high quality and compliance across all aspects of our work. For further support, please feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional assistance you might need after this presentation. Remember, effective communication and ongoing support are key to implementing what we've discussed today. And with that, I want to sincerely thank you all for your time and attention. Your commitment to this topic is truly appreciated, and I hope you found this session valuable. Thank you again, and don't hesitate to get in touch if you need anything further.